How do I make people around me better? How do I make them believe they can do things that maybe they didn't believe in themselves?
Everything you do is under a microscope.
What you're putting on social media, what you're doing with your spare time, all that affects your brand.
NIL is basically you get paid for who you are, this path or this path, and it can make a tremendous difference in the value of who you are as a person.
NFL versus CFL.
It's Canada.
Oh,
right? Like
ouch.
I'm so immersed in playing the game, I don't even know what's going on in the world. It's like, hey, these young men's lives are at stake. So if we're not doing what we're supposed to do and they're trusting us with their life.
Adrian McPherson played for, obviously, Florida State, New Orleans Saints. And we have Reggie Davis, played for that other college in Florida. No, I'm just kidding. UF, University of Florida. No, we love the Gators as well sometimes when they're not playing Florida State. But
absolutely,
you know.
and you know what? The funny thing about that is really vice versa. Yeah, so it's the same principle.
But you know what? I'm one of those fans, though, that in the football world, like if Florida State doesn't do it or USF, I would love to see Florida. Let's keep it in Florida.
You jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
I don't want to say bandwagon. I like to see our hometown teams win, our state. We got to represent Florida.
Yeah,
so.
Of course. Really curious, what, outside of football, what's your favorite sport to watch? What's your favorite, like?
You know what? I think for me, it will be basketball.
Yeah.
You know, I got 3 boys right now, and 2 of my guys are very invested in the game of basketball.
Yeah.
One in particular, just solely basketball. Then my smallest one, he does both, which is hopefully we'll be doing a deal with him at some point.
That's awesome.
He's a superstar, but yeah, basketball, because I'm around that quite often. I get engaged in it and kind of help around with the local AAU basketball team right now. So I'm kind of invested in that. I don't know much how to play or coach it, but I do give it a shot.
I always watch LeBron James. I'm like, man, imagine him on a football field.
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Do you think he could have been a bit of a Bo Jackson and just kind of like played football fairly easily coming out of the NBA, or is that a ridiculous thing to even?
No. The physical makeup is crazy, right? Yeah, his athletic ability and gift that he has, to me, he'll make a great football player. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So a lot of the basketball guys that we see on the court right now, their ability and what they do in the game, it can easily translate over. A lot of high school guys that are coming out of high school, a lot of the recruiters are actually looking for guys that can do both. It makes you more attractable when you're able to do basketball and play, just do dual sports in general. Yeah. So LeBron James fits the bill. He's not the only one, but he definitely fits the bill of playing.
Those hands football. And just his vertical and stuff. I mean, you look like you could you could jump, and I imagine you have a lot of those same skill sets. Like you probably would have been a good. Did you ever play basketball?
Oh yeah, I was pretty good at basketball as well. But I was more of a, I think I was a late bloomer, physically.
Yeah.
So it was always, just a little bit weak physically. But I was.
You used to be weak physically?
Yeah, because I felt like I was kind of growing. I could dunk, but I wasn't really jumping explosively until I kind of got in college.
Yeah.
But I really understood the game. It was more the mental part that I fell in love with, that my dad spent a lot of time working with me on.
Yeah.
So it was always chess to me. And I love that part of just how to make people go, right? So as a quarterback, as a point guard, how do I make people around me better? How do I make them believe they can do things that maybe they didn't believe in themselves? And I think that made me a better player.
Playing both sports, do you think that made you both or better at each sport? A better football player having played basketball?
I think playing quarterback and playing point guard is the same thing.
Yeah,
it's literally you're anticipating passes, you're throwing through lanes. So it definitely helped me in that sense, because playing point guard, I was always used to passing through small windows. So when I got on the football field, the windows were bigger, you know.
But almost easier in a way, or I just think of the pressure of people coming to actually physically tackle you compared to not having that element in basketball?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the way I looked at the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even notice that. I mean, you do, but you don't, because it's like, okay, well, if you get rid of the ball, you don't get hit. Right. That's just the way I looked at it. So if you knew what to do, you got rid of the ball quickly, well, they can't hit you. So I was always thinking the game through, which helped me a lot, because it's like, okay, well, as I go to the line of scrimmage, I know, well, hey, if my left tackle falls right now, if he gets beat right now, I already know where to go with the ball. And so that's just the way I process the information. And I think it's because I wasn't always the fastest or the strongest. So I was using my mind. So as I got stronger, it just elevated my game.
Yeah, I have a nephew that's playing AAA hockey. Actually, he's about to be stepped up to the OHL, which is one level before NHL starts to become a thing. And he was small.
Yeah.
But he was so talented, and he had such a good sense of the ice, and in Canada, we say he skates with his head up, right? And I think in any sports, the ability to not have to look down at what you're doing.
Absolutely.
It's basketball.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then he started to grow.
Yep.
And he kept growing. Now he's 6'2", and he had all those skills. I think that's probably similar with you. You become it turns you into quite the machine when you're used to trying to play at a high level, but you don't have that hardware, and then all of a sudden it's you're upgraded.
Yeah. For me it was, so my dad was pretty smart with how because I was more of a basketball player when I was younger.
Yeah.
So he made me play with older guys, because he's like, hey, if you play with your age group, you're taller than people. They're going to put you in the post. You're not going to be 6'9". You're going to be 6'2" to 6'4". You're not a post guy. You're a guard. And so I don't want you to play with your age group, because if you're taller, they're going to naturally put you in a post. If I play you up, you're short, you have to play point guard.
Yeah.
So as I got older, it did two things, right? Or did many things, but I became then a tall guard. And then because I was playing up my whole life, when I got to high school, I never saw, it's like I've been playing with these guys my whole life. I never looked at it as I'm 14 and they're 18. Those were the guys I played with my whole life. Brilliant. So it didn't intimidate me, which helped.
How much credit do you give to your dad? I think there's so many amazing athletes.
Yeah.
You look behind them, whether it's Michael Jordan or whether it's Tiger Woods, so integral to kind of underwrite it, but also to be that first coach and mentor.
Yeah, I give a lot to both my mom and my dad. My dad was more the brains behind it, because he played basketball, so he understood.
It was a genius move, him doing that for you.
Yeah, I mean, just things we play, I play games as an 11-year-old, and he's like, well, you're only allowed to do left-hand layups this game, no right-hand layups.
For the game, not just in a practice.
Yeah, so It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about working on a skill.
And not worrying about if you lost because of that. He's
Correct.
Don't worry about it.
You need to know how to make left-hand layups. And if people can see that you're making left-hand layups as a 10 or 11-year-old, you stand out. You look different, right? Yeah. So he was able to teach me those little things. But he was very laid back, calm, where my mom was more on me. You know what I mean? It's oh my God, you missed 4 free throws, and those are free points, and so she was
a list of the mistakes you made.
Yeah, it was where you would think the dad would be on the kid about that. It was more my mom. I remember in high school where we played a game, I scored a lot of points, but I didn't dunk. And she's like, no one wants to come to a game and watch you just lay the ball up all night. That's not entertaining. I'm not coming to any more games if you're gonna go out there and do that. So it was. Yeah, she was tough, but there was a great balance for both of them as far as the preparation and just the sacrifice they made. I was very aware of that. Spending summers driving to basketball camps where they're sacrificing time, money, energy, all of those things. So it was
a big commitment. It's a big sacrifice they make.
Yeah. Sure. So if they're gonna do that the least I can do is give it everything I have.
At least you can do is dunk in the game,
I know,
man.
right? I know.
The interesting thing about that, about his mom was he wasn't the only person that got it. She gave it to the boyfriend, which is his dad. Yeah. You know, when dad was playing and she was in the stands, she would do the same exact thing to him. So that just kind of passed.
Didn't play
down.
favorites.
No. She was like that.
Adrian, can you pull your mic just a little bit closer to you? Yeah, just a tiny bit. Yeah.
Is that good there?
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be good.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And also when you talk about, you know, being able to play both sports, you know, when you think about Adrian and the gift that he had, being the only person in the state of Florida, which is rich of athletes, right? Being named Mr. Florida and Mr. Basketball, and still to this day, the only person to hold that's a huge thing to have. And it's an honor to be able to say, one, he's family, and then two, to be able to work along with him in this space, being that he has those accolades.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, I have so many questions for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not to bounce back to football, but this is great because you guys played opposite sides of the ball, and you know you never get to ask these questions to professionals. Like it's easy for us to sit on the couch on Sunday and be like, "Oh, he was wide open." So it's like I want to hear from both sides of the ball here. Like when you break the huddle, what's the first thing you guys are looking for? I mean, obviously, I think I know what you're gonna say, but I want to hear it from you guys.
For me, I've always been like a tempo guy. Hey, let's get to the line. If they're not aligned, I have a call for you to snap it right now to get it out of my hands, right? So A, can they get lined up? B, I'm looking at, you know, just coverages. What are they trying to do to me? I got to a point where I studied so much where I knew who was tired. Like certain guys had certain tendencies. So like if I see a DB cross his legs and that's what he does when he's tired, I would audible to go deep. I got to a point where I knew there's always somebody that tells you, you know, it's a linebacker, it's a DB, like they're not as fast as everyone else is. So they have to cheat a little bit to get to certain coverages. So I would identify that guy right away and he would tell me everything. So it was just, you know, through film study, all my, you know, kind of just all my little cheat sheet, I would call it, my identifier. I'm finding that guy. He's telling me what they're doing every single time. And that's who I'm locating every single play. Yeah. You know, he's the guy. He's telling me everything, and we take advantage of it.
And I think from my side of the field, being free safety, you know, I'm the quarterback of the defense. So it's the same principle when going into film study, identifying what's the strength and weaknesses of a team or what player that I need to know where he's at all times. Breaking the huddle, I would say that's the number one thing I do is probably find that player, especially if he is the strength of the team. And then at that point, being able to see, you know, what type of set they come out. If they come down in 2x2 or they being heavy with a lot of tight ends. Something that a lot of guys may not know, but when I do find myself to like 12 yards deep, my eyes go straight to the guard. So the guard for me tells me if I'm getting ready for a run play or if I'm getting ready for a pass. And a lot of times I've had coaches come to me and like, well, how did you get up to make that tackle in the backfield so fast? Like, what were you doing? Did you kind of just know what was going on? I'm like, no, it's more so you, like you say, you find out who your people are, people that can tip you off. And from that point, if I can get a good read on if it's a run or a pass, I just automatically go. I'm not a person, when I was playing, I wasn't a person that said sit back and then wait and react after the play. I was more of a get in front of the play. So that made a difference in the type of player that I was and kind of got me in a position where I was being recognized because of something that small. Yeah. So, yeah.
We were in our conversation again with Clint Hurdle. We talked about how the game kind of slows down.
Oh yeah,
whether it's baseball, hockey, football. Did you find that it just clock ran a little slower for you guys?
Well,
I mean, I guess
when you're prepared, it's a little slower. I remember this was like my freshman year at Florida State, and they're like, "Hey, you may start this week. Be ready." And so I'm like, "Okay." So we go to practice on Monday, no reps. So I'm going home Monday night, study. Tuesday comes, it happens again, no reps. I'm like, "There's no way I'm playing this week." Wednesday, same thing, no reps. So I stopped studying. I'm like, I'm not playing. Like, I know my package. You know, we're playing Clemson. I know what I have to do when they put me in, if they put me in. So Saturday comes, we have a 7 o'clock game. They come to me at 4 o'clock and say, "You're starting." I hadn't watched film in like 3 days. So like I'm upstairs in the film room, 4 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, trying to watch film. I get out there in the game and stuff is just flying. Like, I'm like, I have no clue. Like, people are moving way too fast, right? And so
your mom must have been really mad.
Right. Here's the opportunity, you know. So I played 2 series. They pulled me out. And I promised myself I'll never do that again, no matter what. So just always study, stay ready for the moment. But when you're prepared, it's literally slow motion, because you know what they're doing. Like you know, when you're truly prepared, you've watched the film. Who they are is who they are, and it just starts moving in slow motion.
I was saying before we even really were fully rolling here that I was in a lot of bands all my life. I'm from the music space. I in another lifetime ago, I was doing an arena tour with NSYNC and all that kind of stuff. And people would ask me a lot of the time, like, "Don't you get nervous?" Like, because I played in front of some pretty big crowds from a young age, and I was only nervous if I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
If I was prepared and I knew my band knew all the notes and I knew I could trust that the drummer knew all the stops and stuff, the nerves just went away. And I just really hear that in what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're just so much better. You're just so much better when you're prepared, obviously.
Yeah.
But
that's you know what, and also I think it changes when you go from level to level. Starting from little league, right? You just got to get adjusted. So once you do get, you know, you study in and you kind of get adjusted to things, then the speed of the game definitely slows down. But I would say the moment that you arrive at the next level up, you really, really, really have to get adjusted to that. And sometimes it takes a lot longer for some guys, depending on what type of player they are and how seriously they take the game. But eventually, when it does get to that point of being slower, you're able to process things a lot quicker, and then be able to respond off that. So
being a Canadian guy, my hero was Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
And if you watch film of him when he was young, it's really weird. It just looks like everything moves slow for him, and everyone's just flying by him and falling and trying to get the puck away from him, and he's just like, because it just seems like what you said. He could see the play happening, almost like in a strange way, like a magical way almost.
Yeah.
Which level? I keep going back to like some of these questions. Like which level do you think was more distracting for you to play at? What I mean, maybe distracting is not the right word, but like. What kind of challenges did you face? Do you think there was more distractions playing college versus the NFL, or because I think you would have different issues, you know, obviously having to contend with grades and things like that, but you know, and then appearances in the NFL, things like that. Where would you say you had more challenges?
My challenges were in the NFL. I think because it was, you know, you play in high school and it's obviously a lot of fun, but you have structure to it, right? You knew when practice was, you know when school is, you know, and that stuff is kind of done for you, right? And then you go to college and it's like someone's doing your schedule for you. They're telling you when you have study hall, they're telling you when you have practice, like it's all scheduled out for you. You have meals at this time, it's all scheduled. And then you go to the NFL and you have no schedule. You just have practice. And then you have to create what that looks like. Right. But you've been told what to do since you were 8-year-old child, 9-year-old child. It's all been done for you. And now you're thrown out there and they're like, hey, practice is from, 8 to 1. And then you're free. And if you don't know how to create a schedule for yourself. Like you've never been told, I mean, you've never had to schedule when you go to treatment, when you go, I watch film from this time to this time. So that was a challenge for me because I didn't know what to do. And I was trying to build that system for myself, but also compete for a job, right? And I was a 5th round draft pick. I didn't come in the first round where they gave you, millions of dollars. But you're competing with guys that are 28, 29, 30 years old who have families, who have structure, who've been in the league for a while, and they know how it works. And you're also trying to take their job. So they're not necessarily there to show you the way. Right. So I'm in New Orleans, I'm by myself, no family, 20 years old, and trying to figure things out. Love the game, want to compete, but I don't know how to take care of my body. I don't know how to put a team around me to help me with those things. So that was the most challenging part for me. And it really had nothing to do with the game. It was building this system around myself to protect me to be able to perform day in, day out for the game. So that was my challenge.
So, and it's, I know we'll get into this, but is that part of the reason? That's kind of what you do now, right? For your businesses, you were developed a system to help athletes, basically organize just so they don't, have the same issues that you have, right?
Yeah. There's just so much, I feel like, knowledge and experience that I've, had and learned and gained throughout this whole process that I just want to give to people, because I've seen many guys who have the talent, they just don't know what to do, right? And so we're in this space now where at least I can talk from experience. Hey, right. This is what I did that worked. This is what I did that absolutely didn't work. These are people that I played with that were extremely gifted and talented and got it right, that we can reach out to talk to about what they did. So yeah, it's honestly just kind of seeing myself in a lot of these younger guys and saying, hey, you have a tremendous amount of talent. You're a great kid. How can we come help you, build and grow what you're trying to build and grow through experiences, not what someone told me. These are just things that I experienced that I wish I knew when I was in your position.
So and would part of that be like the travel, the intense travel and being good at even just packing and having the right stuff with you and staying, keeping your nutrition and stuff up as you're traveling? I mean, we're doing this podcast at the beautiful Palmetto Marriott Resort and Spa. People love it here. Mm-hmm. They take good care of you. Like when you go to certain hotels in certain cities, it makes you feel more at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that aspect of it, and maybe what you're passing on to some of the people you're mentoring.
Well, yeah, I think it's the travel. I mean, when you're playing at that level, the travel is always going to be good. So you're always going to stay in great hotels.
First class.
Yes.
Right.
But what you do when you're there, what are you eating? Are you sleeping? Yeah. What do you, so like that stuff, like if you eat junk, you're going to find junk wherever you go. Yeah. Right. So, it's literally those things, right? Like, hey, what are you trying to get accomplished? What do you want to do as a player? What do you want to do after you leave the game? And then say, well, hey, these are some of the things that, we can help you with, some of the people we can put you in touch with to help you achieve some of those goals. And it sounds, because it's the same stuff I heard. Hey, the game isn't going to be here forever, right? Yeah. And I played a long time, and when I look at it, I'm like, man, I was 33, 34 when I finished, and you still have so much more life, and that's playing a long career, right? You play 10, 12 years, and it flies by, but I can remember there'd be times where it's like, man, I'm so immersed in playing the game, I don't even know what's going on in the world. Like I have no clue what's going on outside of this bubble. So I'm just really trying to come alongside of them and figure out what do they want to do, what type of player they want to be, who do they want to be off the field, and then us finding the group of people that we can help them, partner with and work with to help accomplish those goals and dreams.
So do you mind along those lines or explaining a little bit of what the NIL is and kind of how has that changed all of college sports basically?
Yeah, and it's crazy, right? When you hear the word NIL, it becomes something where in every household now, especially sports and college, and now even high school, you hear that. You hear that term NIL, like what exactly is that, right? If you go back to the 1950s when college football was going on and up until the 2020, you had a lot of athletes out there. And a lot of universities and business were making tons of money, billions of dollars off the hard efforts that you put into the game for so long, and you get to the university and now you're playing, you get a scholarship, you may get a Pell Grant worth $3,000 like myself, where that $3,000 had to stretch me a whole year. Wow. Because I didn't have the support at home to provide that financial need. My first year in college where I didn't know about money and $3,000 was gone within the first 2 months, right?
Yeah, no, seriously.
Learned a valuable lesson from there. So my next 3 years, I learned how to spread $3,000 out for the whole entire year.
And that's tough.
Yeah. And then be able to say, okay, well, Mom, I know you're not in best shape, so let me kind of send you some too. So that even subtracted a little bit from what I had.
From the little you had.
Yeah. And you think about being that athlete, and when it clicked, I said, wow, the university is making a lot of money. And I'm over here struggling because of the things I'm doing on the field. So when I go into the shop and my name is on the back of the jersey or my number's on the jersey, if you just made $500,000 off of that and I didn't get anything, that's when things started like, whoa, that's pause. What's really going on? And it wasn't until a kid named Ashton went to court about that. So in 2020, things started shifting for the better for athletes. So name, image, and likeness, just to keep it kind of simple. Name is pretty much, who are you, right? Your image or your photos, different images that are out there. And then your likeness is kind of who you are as a person. That's your brand, that's your person, that's your identity. And just to keep it real simple, NIL is basically you get paid for who you are. Right. So a lot of times throughout all those years, it just wasn't the case. But now, since, it was ruled in 2021 that players can get a value off of just their likeness and their name, things are now turning for the better. The problem is now, still being a young kid with all that money and exposure to all the things that comes along with that, when you're dealing with different businesses, when you're dealing with different people, your family may not have that background. So when you look at a contract, you may not understand the thing that's going on in the contract. So the thing about Nexus and what we decided, because of the different experiences that we've had in the background, and some of the things that was just going on locally, we felt the need to, hey, let's get in this space, because we've always worked with athletes. We always work with high profile athletes. But there was still confusion when it came down to, well, what do we do now? Right? So the need for us to form Nexus, we felt that was something very important, especially to our community. And then just the outreach that we have when it comes down just to other local high school kids or college students. We want to be able to, we have these three pillars, which we say guide, protect, and position. And we want to be able to do those things for those athletes, because it's not it's not something that's very easy to navigate. And I totally get it. But to be able to say, hey, we have someone that's in our corner that's looking out for the best of our interests, that, hey, that's going to look over a contract, find all those red flags in there, and then, hey, let's confront those things before we sign this, right? Mm-hmm. Being able to pick out a brand that maybe you want to represent you. Is that the right brand? Does that even fall in line with who you are as a person, right? Is that going to be a compliance issue for you? So when you think about this space, and a lot of times, I'm going to say our athletes, when I say our athletes, people that may not be as fortunate, right? And now they're into this whole thing. They run across a whole, $10,000 or $300,000. What are you going to do with that? We just had a meeting with some of our clients about, okay, well, we got this now in your personal account. What about the taxes?
Yeah, everybody forgets about that. The IRS does not.
Right. They're not gonna forget about it, right?
I promise you that.
So how are we gonna tackle that aspect of it? But a lot of times we find out they just don't know, and it's not their fault.
No.
So they need people that is going to, one, that they respect, two, that they feel like they can trust them. And at the end of the day, when you have respect and trust and you have the ability to work along with each other and be able to educate them in that way, it makes this whole space a lot easier for them. Being that, hey, if Adrian says, hey, we need to set up this business account and we need to set up in this way for this reason, and be able to explain exactly why we're doing it and how it's going to get done, and then bring in the professionals to provide that extra resource for them, then when they see that it works and what it's doing for them and how it's saving them money, or how we avoided them from getting into a bad contract. Just recently we looked over a contract, and the way that the language was stated, they had the contract extended for 13 months. No, we're not doing 13 months. This is an annual contract. We go do 12 months. And the reason why they did 13 was just the whole that last month, just in case you decide to go to another school.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. We're going to take that same amount and we're going to put it into 12 months. And there's stuff like that you catch. The little things that makes a world of a difference can save you, or that can prevent you from losing $20,000. Just like that.
And it's hard as a young person that, just getting into the game, you don't have a ton of cash. Someone offers you a ton of money, or what you perceive to be a ton of money, but you're not really concerned about the fine print. Right. So having that mentor behind you, having someone that has your best interest in mind, it's phenomenal. I mean, I would consider myself somewhat of an expert in the real estate world. I still have a mentor. You have to have somebody that gives you that outside look that says, hey man, just pump the brake for a second. Yeah. Because sometimes you can get blinded by the commas and zeros and you're not looking at the fine print where, hey, this is not a good deal long term.
Yeah.
And you miss things. I mean, we're all in business. I still miss things sometimes. So it's you have to have someone just top level looking over your stuff. And so I'm all on board with you guys.
Yeah. And then to kind of piggyback off, one of my bigger things with that too is, because, I mean, you've been on teams, you've been on really good teams, you form this bond, you believe, especially as a young athlete, that because they're your coach, they have your best interests. And that's not necessarily the case. They have the team's, it's their job to have the team's best interests. And that may not be your best interest, right? It's what's in the best interest of the team. And then also, you're now being paid. So you can't want to be a kid, but be paid as an adult, right? Like once you start being paid and it's business, they're expecting you to get a job done, right? And so, hey, if they're paying you and you're going out there and you're not playing well, you're going to go to the bench and they're not going to pay you that next year. Right. So it's getting them to understand as well that the moment that you start being paid, this is now business and there's an expectation from this. So you're not a professional. So you need to take care of your body. You need to act as such, right? You can't, something, I don't want to say simple, but what you're putting on social media, what you're doing with your spare time, like all that affects what they're giving you, your brand. Yeah. And it's truly getting them to understand that piece. Hey, you can't act like your buddies in high school anymore.
Everything you do is under a microscope.
Everything you do. And so, and saying, hey, you have to start thinking as a business. And I know you're young, but we got to get you to, and it may not click right away, but if we continue to have those conversations and as things start to happen, they just start to pick up on certain things, which goes back to the education part of it. But there's just so much that I imagine they're dealing with that we just didn't have to at that age because it was football at a high level, but they weren't paying us to do it, So.
And now with social media too, everything anyone does, everyone's seeing it real time.
For sure.
How connected everything is.
Yeah. So what does this process look like from the athlete side? So I'm in college. I just have an offer. I come to you. Like, what are the steps? Like, what does that look like for me?
Well, I'll kind of speak from my side and then let Reggie talk. I think for us, how we got started was a little bit backwards, where we had a kid that came through the program here, and he'll be here later, Zamarian Lang, and we've been working with him since he's 14, 15 years old, and he just trusts us, right? And so when this came about, he was just like, hey, coach, I trust you. So I want you guys to help me with this. So it started there. And we were working with him, just looking over his stuff. Hey, don't sign anything unless we take a look at it. And so it started there. But then as we worked with him, then his teammates were seeing it. And so they were like, well, hey, who are you? Who is this guy? Because it wasn't just, before NIL even started, I was going up to see him once a month at Toledo to make sure he was okay. Hey, I'm going to come up once a month. We'll go to dinner. We'll talk, whatever you want to talk, ball or school or girls, whatever just to be there for him as a support system. And so those guys would see me up there all the time, just coming to games. And so it just kind of naturally happened where a couple of those guys had interest because, a lot of them come from the same, circumstances. And it was, well, hey, if you trust him, he must be a good guy. And so that's how we then were able to represent Caleb Osborne, who'll be here as well. But we had two guys, but didn't really know much about the space. So that's why I say, hey, look, Reggie, this is what we've been doing anyway, just mentoring these guys and putting them, but we've been passing them off to people that they don't know to handle this stuff, which even if we pass them off to people they don't know, they're trusting us. So if those people do wrong by them, they're still looking at us as you told me this guy was a good person. So hey, let's look into this, see if this is something we want to get involved in. And as we did more digging, I was just like, man, this is what we've been doing for the last 5 to 10 years, just not being paid for it, right? So it keeps me close enough to the game, mentoring kids. I like business, so it gives business opportunities. And there's a lot of talent, not only in the country, but just in this area. Right. So it stemmed from just wanting to help some kids in this area create a better life for themselves and become, great human beings and put themselves in the situation to where, now that they're being paid, when they get ready to start their life, after college, that, they didn't just make some money and blow through it. And, they're able to kind of change the circumstances that they went through as kids and provide a better lifestyle for themselves.
And even on top of that, you talked about passing those things off, right? Well, now we're able to build our own internal team. So all those people that we were passing off to, building that team of folks that are able to provide those same services, but they're part of Nexus. and knowing that the people that we went out to make sure that, hey, are these good people? Are they doing the things by, the right way? And now we have a closer ability to firsthand go immediately and have this conversation with the attorney, or have this conversation with our graphic designer, or have this conversation with our community relation person as far as what are you doing? What's the outreach when we talk about going and build those relationships with the community organizations and businesses, and even to the point of outreaching brand wise, right? Being able to secure brands and building those relationships. At the end of the day, I know our athletes are looking at us for a particular reason when it comes down to, hey, are you guys doing your job too, right? So that's very important to us. And we want to make sure they understand that, yes, we are doing everything possible that we can to position you the right way. So to answer that would be, yes, the first thing, hey, let's build this team, right? Let's build a team. And then from there, everybody has a job to do. And we just make sure we oversee that and make sure people are doing those things that they need to do. Outside of the connections and things and people that we meet, that we can provide more value to the company, more value to our clients, and then being able to execute on those things. And then if they can see, hey, man, we're really getting some things done. We're really moving in the right direction. One thing I was going to say is when we talk about brands, and a lot of times people may get things mixed up, and the first thing come to mind is, man, how many followers you have, right? Because they tend to think that followers equal value, and it just that's not the case, right? That's just not the case. You can have 1,000 followers, millions of followers, but your identity and who you are, your brand value may not align to, just because you got all those followers, that may not align to this company over here. So your value is really zero, right? But we need, if it may be zero over here, but it may be 200,000 over here.
You might be famous, but what are you famous for?
Correct.
So it's those things where we try to make sure we educate them on the seriousness behind your social media platforms. We educate them on making sure they understand that everything you do at this point, your identity, can lead you down this path or this path, and can make a tremendous difference in the value of who you are as a person and as an athlete. And we pride ourselves on saying, hey, we want to be able to, when football is over, you got a good foundation that's set for you, and be able to continue that so that your family, your kids are in a better position than who you were when you first got started. So the end game for us is to make sure that we do the right things the right way, but then set you up financially and also with relation-wise with different people that can help you in the long run. So those are the things that we look at. So that's a great question.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and to kind of just piggyback a little bit extra on that, it's also getting everybody to understand the importance of what we're all trying to get accomplished here as a group, right? Like, lives are literally at stake, right? When we're talking to the team, it's like, hey, these young men's lives are at stake. So if we're not doing what we're supposed to do, like, their lives are literally at stake, and they're trusting us with their life, right? And it's the same thing on their end. Hey, look, we're out here working hard, meeting people, talking to people, and we can't be doing this and you're partying and doing all this stuff because now that makes us look bad as a brand, a company, because we're sitting down talking to people, telling them this is the type of kid he is, he's a hardworking kid, blah, blah, blah. Yet you're doing X, Y, Z. So everybody's going to be held accountable, right? Like, yes, we work for you, but just like you can fire us, we can fire you because our lives are at stake as well. So we value what we're trying to do and build here just as much as you value your career. And it's just that transparency. We have an expectation out of you, just like you have an expectation out of us.
You get so much more results when you're accountable to someone. My wife's a fitness coach, and some people don't necessarily need a fitness coach because they know how to work out. It's more the fact that all of a sudden they're paying her money and now they're accountable. And if they don't show up for the training session and she's gotten up at like 6 a.m., she's not, she's like your mom. Yep. She's not happy. And then they show up the next time, you know?
Yeah.
You guys is there a book deal in the works here? You guys need to write a book if you haven't already. This is a book that should be in schools. Yeah. That outlines some of what you're talking about. I think it's really, really important.
Well, the cool thing about what you said, we haven't thought about a book, but what we have thought about is getting into the high schools and being able to present to athletes and also parents and talk about just the truth behind it. We talk if you go to our website, we talk about the source of truth. And, you know, we feel that being that everything is so fast moving, right? And a lot of people don't understand exactly the totality of NIL. We want to be able to provide the truth to all folks involved. Even if, you know, sometimes you may say, hey man, some people may say, why you got a representative? Like they just doing this, or they just want to take your money and so forth, right? And well, the truth is that could be the case. That could be the case. You may have somebody that just is there for that reason. You get that first collective deal and that's all they're doing for you. Well, the truth of the matter is that's out there and people are doing that. You just got to make sure you with the right people for the right reason and they've got the best interest for you and not just looking out for themselves. So we want to be able to provide that source of truth and just be real and have open conversations with our athletes so that they can ask and we can be able to answer any question that they have. And we're not there to sell Nexus. We're there to sell the truth.
Well said.
That's awesome.
Either of you guys, on a lighter note, car guys? Either of you car guys? You can see there's a lot of, can you see what's, I'm sure there's going, what is going on here? So this is the Florida Central Yard, part of the Palmetto Marriott. And so it's really cool. I work for the Palmetto Marriott now. Okay. And Tony, the owner, is a bit of a visionary, created this amphitheater event space. Yeah. Do you have any guesses as to what's underneath that tarp back there?
You know, I was looking at a tarp. I'm looking at how it's shaped. And I was hoping I could get something wrapped around that, maybe, possibly, if it was some type of vehicle. I'm thinking
there's a prize if you to whoever guesses correctly.
Okay,
there is a prize.
Yeah, Everett's got a really good prize for you.
Okay,
the bus.
Yeah,
what's the guess? I'm curious.
Do you know?
To me, it's kind of shaped like the what's the truck called?
The Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. You got it. Yeah. So it's called Art in Motion, the event. We're doing an event here tonight, and we're celebrating the artistry of beautiful cars. And we have an artist here named John Weisner, who's like a Jackson Pollock. He's painting that Cybertruck tonight.
Oh, wow.
He's taped it all off. They've wrapped it and he's going to be painting it. And then we have another artist that paints murals. He paints the hoods of Ferraris and stuff. Super talented guy, Dan Rankin. And we're going to have a DJ. And it's just, we're marrying those two worlds because there's so much art in sports. I think it's an art form. I think a beautifully designed car is a piece of art. Yeah. Either you guys, you got a nice watch. I'm wondering if you got a nice car to go along with your watch.
No. I don't know. I don't know who the artist is. I may need to meet him because maybe we could, if he could put Nexus somewhere in there a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's got, on the tarp, he's got a different tarp that goes down. It's funny. He has he has a lot of brands behind him and he splashes paint over all the logos. Yeah. That's a whole, speaking of young, he's 20 years old. Some of the people that you're mentoring, this guy, John Weiser, amazing. Just his business acumen, there he is right there.
Okay.
That's John. We'll introduce you to him. He's got like 100 million, speaking of views, he's got like over 100 million views on what he's doing. Wow. Very controversial because he usually paints, I think, Lamborghinis. And people either love it or they get kind of riled up because he's, but it's going to be interesting. We're celebrating those kind of two art forms tonight.
That's awesome.
Are you guys around tonight at all? Or?
We definitely plan on being around. Awesome. We heard about what was going on, and Adrian and I was talking about it. Like, no, we coming back. We're definitely going to be around for it.
Good.
For sure.
Yeah, awesome.
I was going to get the surprise for the winner was free tickets to the free show tonight. So we got
so we won the tickets.
You guys have traveled, and my boss Tony will like if I ask you this. You've traveled a ton, extensively, stayed at a lot of different hotels. What do you think of the Palmetto Marriott?
Oh man, I love it. So from Palmetto, and
there you go.
The first time I came here, which I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think I called Reggie after and I was like, I can't believe that hotel looks like that. Like it doesn't, it just looks like I'm in a different place. You know, it's very obviously, I mean, it's luxury. It has everything here.
Yeah. The food is incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah. We've got the Oyster River rooftop up there, which panoramic view of the ocean. And if you're from Palmetto, I mean, have you been up there yet to eat?
We did.
Yeah.
Not to eat. We went up there last week. And what was your comment when you looked out?
I was like, whoa. I was looking around. I was like, wow, man, this is Palmetto. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just has a total different look to the city. I'm always ground level and just being able to see kind of, I grew up, man, just maybe a mile away from here, right? And Duplex City over there.
Yeah.
And to be able to go up top and see, man, how beautiful
different
it is.
Perspective,
That's
right?
a totally different, that's a, totally different perspective.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And
I talk about a different perspective. I moved here from Canada 9 months ago. I was doing a music residency in Sarasota. A friend of mine let me stay at their place at Riviera Dunes in Palmetto right here.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to make of it at first. I mean, I'm very, very seduced by the weather you guys have here compared to what I'm used to in Canada. You spent a lot of time in Canada in the CFL, so you know what I'm talking about. But I slowly just fell in love with it. It's so central. There's so much going on. It's a little bit gritty here and there, but it's just got character. And there's a sense of community that's even getting better and better here. Yeah. And this hotel, I think, has really become a hub.
Yeah.
And we're so glad to have you guys here. Yeah. Sorry, I got to ask one last question because it's gonna really tick off a lot of my Canadian friends who are big CFL fans. Yeah. They're really going to be very jealous that I'm talking to you. They would say, I have a lot of American friends like Everett that would say, no, there's no comparison. NFL versus CFL. NFL is way more entertaining to watch. My Canadian friends would go, they don't get it at all. They don't get it at all. CFL is amazing. It's different. Yep. Different size field, I guess, and stuff. But I want to know your opinion on that. What do you think? Not necessarily what's better, but what you would tell the passive fan about the CFL versus the NFL.
I would say so. When I first went to Canada, knew nothing about the CFL, and I didn't train. So I remember just, my dad's like, "You're not going to train for training camp?" I'm like, "It's Canada."
Oh,
right? Like I've been playing. I've been playing I played in Florida.
I played up here. Now
I knew nothing about it. So I'm like, I played in Florida. Played in I'm going to Canada. So didn't train. Trained but not too tough. Yeah. So I get there and I didn't know, hey, there's 53 spots on a team, but they can only keep 23 or 24 Americans and you're all kind of competing for the same spots.
See, I actually did not know that.
Yeah. So they have designated
Canadian content rules.
Yeah. So each team is different, but you got to have a certain amount of Canadian starters. Yeah. Only allow a certain amount of Americans. So each team kind of has hey, quarterback's going to be American, offense, whatever that it looks like. And so I get there and it's myself, Chris Leak, Brad Banks, who was a Heisman Trophy contender at Iowa. There's 5 or 6 guys that are really, really good. And so my dad's like, how'd the first day go? I'm like, I might be home next week.
Wow.
This is
I'm in over my head.
These guys are really good. And so
love it.
So that was the first kind of surprise at how much talent was there, not just American, but Canadian talent. Cause a lot of those guys played college ball in the States, right? Yeah. So that was a little bit surprising. But then once we started to play the games, I just fell in love with, especially with my style, dual threat quarterback, the field's so big. Yeah. It's so entertaining. The whole 3 down thing was was like halfway through my first season and I still didn't know all of the rules. I'm kind of like, hey, what's going on here? So, but like you're going to score a lot of points. It's entertaining. The competition is really good. The fans are into it. Like because it was kind of a mixture of like, other than like, Edmonton, Calgary, which in Saskatchewan, which those stadiums sell out because it's kind of the only thing going there. But it gave because we played at McGill College, which was, 20, 30,000 seats. So it felt like you're playing pro ball, but it had a college football vibe to it.
Almost the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So I love that part, right? And then there was this 4-hour rule where they can only practice for 4 hours a day. Like that was a rule or the teams got fined. So you were able to play pro ball, but still have this life outside of the game. So I was still able to enjoy Montreal, So I love it. I tell people all the time, it's like I went there saying, hey, I'm going to try to play 1 year up there and then come back to the States. But after that first year, I'm like, I love it here. Like I can play ball, but still have a life outside of football. And then our team was really good. The city was great. Like it was just, competition was really good. A lot of those guys go up there and play and come to the NFL. It was the most fun I had playing pro ball in my career.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
I appreciate that.
That felt good, didn't it?
That felt so good.
Yeah.
I'm going to float out of here. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think, Everett?
I just thought
Have you ever watched much CFL?
I've never watched it. I've been to Canada.
Yeah.
But had poutine and that was about it. I thought you guys had hockey and poutine.
Yeah. You should go to a game. You should don't watch. You should you should.
We'll go sometime maybe. We'll bring this podcast we'll go and
that'd be awesome.
Hamilton would be a great game to go to.
Absolutely.
I feel like that city is
Oh, they're so, and one of my best friends is in Hamilton. Briscoe, shout out to Briscoe.
Yeah.
He's gonna be so jealous right now. He knows exactly. He would know every stat of yours. So
another local guy that was from this area that was built quite a name for himself was Clemens.
Willie Clemens, pinball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's from here.
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah.
The Argos. Yeah, he was. What an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
Talk about an entertaining athlete to watch. It was unbelievable. And a little guy, but just unbelievably strong and fast, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
big personality too, right?
Big personality, yeah.
Yeah.
He became a Canadian hero for sure.
Man, his dad was our trainer at our high school for years and years and years. And short guy, feisty guy, legend in the community. And to see his offspring go and do that stuff in Canada, it's awesome.
Anyone that's watching this, if you go check out Pinball Clemens and watch his highlight reels, it's wild.
For sure.
It's wild. Yeah. Well, anything else? And that's this week. We could keep talking to you for another few hours, but that was great. We really appreciate you guys coming here. Love what you're doing, and I do think there should be a book at some point, or a call, or maybe a high school class that's like almost like you have to take that class to get them ready for the next step of their lives.
It's important.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having us. We really appreciate this.
Thank you guys for coming.
This is wonderful.
And you say that, and the yard out here, like let's do something. Let's see if we can organize some high school kids to come out here and put something together for you guys. And I'm sure Hey Tampa Bay and the Marriott would be on top of that to help you guys out.
Yeah.
I love
to host you.
Let's do it.
I love it. We got to do it.
Let's do it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.